So some other economic terms, right? So a lot of times when you're learning a new branch of science, you're learning a new language, right? You can think about, learning a sport, right? Sports have different meanings for the same exact words that we use in other things, right? So like I can only think right now of billiards for some reason, but playing pool. But a bumper when you're playing pool is very different than a bumper when you just talk about stuff in the world, right? Usually people think a car bumper. So we're teaching you jargon essentially, right? So sometimes the jargon is going to be a familiar word that has a new meaning. Sometimes it's going to be a wholly unfamiliar word. So this is probably a wholly unfamiliar word here. I mean, the root of the word, money, right? But it's monetary policy. So this is the policy that the government takes regarding money, right? Regarding the available level of interest or credit in the economy. So these are policies that influence the availability of credit, so how easy or difficult it is in order to get a loan for a house or get a credit card or get a loan for a car, right? The interest rate. How expensive is it going to be, right? And obviously these two things are, inextricably tied to each other. We'll talk about that later when we get to more chapters, but these two things feed into each other. So this is done by the nation's central bank or monetary authorities. And the central bank here in the United States is called the Federal Reserve. Technically the Federal Reserve System, but we don't need to be that technically correct, right? The other type of policy that we have is called fiscal policy. Fiscal policies are policies that involve increasing or decreasing government spending. So, there's been an overwhelming plateauing or decrease in the support for higher education among governments, right? The amount of money that the governments are giving to schools in terms of endowment is going down across the board. And then also policies that increase or decrease taxation. Taxation is going to influence how much money we can actually take home, which is going to influence consumption and impact the economic activity, right? Fiscal policy is dictated by the nation's legislative body. And this, is Congress. House of Representatives and the Senate here in the United States.